What's up, guys? DLE Kamel here, and I just wanted to do a quick video on some skill changes that have come to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. These are accompanying the ban list changes, which I didn't cover what was that? A couple weeks ago, they released that. This was released, but was implemented today. It was released like what, 2 weeks ago, something like that. They basically put the Neos Fusion engine back on the ban list and removed some nerfs for Cyber Dragon, Dark Magician, and oh my god, dude. They essentially removed some nerfs for Dark Magician, Cyber Dragon, and Spellbooks. So let's get into the skill nerfs and see if they do anything similar. But it does seem like most of these are Pendulum related, which is very strange. You know, it's really weird that they would take this time to kind of reissue some skill buffs for Pendulums. I think most Pendulum decks vastly underperformed, and most Pendulum decks that are succeeding, which is like Abyss Actors, they have specific skills that they rely on for their power, and I don't think that general Pendulum skills are there yet. But let's see what they have done. So first, they are buffing the main Pendulum skill, swing into action, Pendulum Summon. We are strengthening it to make it easier to Pendulum Summon, and now this says at the beginning of the duel, add Pendulum Zones. So really quickly, we could just look and see what was the problem with this skill. It says at the beginning of the duel, add a Pendulum Zone to your field. This skill will only activate if you begin the duel with a deck that has 12 or more Pendulum monsters. And yeah, this is pretty nuts. It even eliminates the factor of you being able to use a Pendulum deck that does not solely rely on Pendulum monsters. 12 Pendulum monsters is your entire deck is Pendulum monsters. Every single monster is a Pendulum monster, and all you have left are a couple spells and traps for your safety. So it really limited you in terms of how you could build your deck, and pretty much no deck was viable like that. You could argue you could play Abyss Actors, but again, then here you lose out on, you know, a special ability you could get via another skill like Sealed Tombs. Abyss Actors are doing very good with Sealed Tombs right now, and they don't really make use of the extra scales. So 3 scales is not even really a big deal anymore. Probably would have been a better deal probably around the beginning of Arc 5 World. Extra balloons is getting nerfed. This is that Wonder Balloon skill for Yuma. This was previously pretty bad, but now it is allowing you to select a balloon, Wonder Balloons without balloon counters, and place a balloon counter on it. And then if you begin the duel that contains no monsters other than Performer Battle Magician, Odd Eyes, you can place one face-up Wonder Balloons from outside of your deck. So you only get this effect if you're playing a Odd Eyes, Magician, Performer Pal deck, but it's a little bit better, dude, for whatever cheese you can muster up. Probably only going to be used against the AI, though, to be honest. And lastly, we have what I think is the most impactful skill buff here is of Command of the Doom King. This was garnering a lot of controversy when Konami nerfed Contract Procrastination. They really didn't bring up a skill for Declan to fill that void, and DDD kind of just fell off the map completely because they didn't have any good skills, none that were worth playing at all. So Command of the Doom King was the main Pendulum skill for Pendulum DDD. So let's see what its new text says. It says, at the beginning of the duel, add Pendulum Zones to your field. The following effect can be used once per duel. Select one DDD Doom King Armageddon from your hand and add it to your extra deck face up. Then select up to one DD Pendulum monster from your field and deck respectively, and place it/them on your Pendulum Zones. Their effects are negated until the end of your next standby phase. The skill can only activate and be used if you begin the duel with a deck excluding extra deck that contains 3 DDD Pendulum monsters. So for reference, let's go over and take a look at what the skill does right now. All right, so Command of the Doom King. So we can look at it now and just pointing out the specific changes. It still gives you zones for free. This part about selecting the Doom King Armageddon from your hand, adding it to your face-up extra deck is the same. And then this says, then select up to one DD Pendulum monster, respectively, from your field/deck and place it in your Pendulum zone, but its effects are negated. So this is saying that you can select up to one from anywhere, and from your, excuse me, this says you can select one from your field or deck. I am believing that the new skill is allowing you to add one from your field and one from your deck. Okay, and then this skill says at the beginning of your next turn, return all cards in your Pendulum zones to your deck. This is something that is being removed in the skill nerf, so these cards will remain in your Pendulum zone, which I think is pretty good. And then this skill did have a steeper activation cost. 6 or more DD Pendulum monsters, including 1 or more Doom King Armageddon. So, I mean, you're going to need Doom King Armageddon, like, to make this skill even worth it. So I'm not sure why they really removed that activation cost, but they did cut the amount of Pendulum monsters you need to have in half. So now you can get away with just running triple Doom King Armageddon for whatever reason. I just really want to zero in on the fact that, were you able to add one Pendulum monster before and now you can add 2? Because this doesn't seem like too much of a buff if it is not that way. There are some wording changes. Select up to one DD Pendulum monster from your hand, from your... I'm going to say that this is definitely not enough to make this skill viable. Again, you know, Pendulum DDD is really missing out on any powerful effects and really relies on just big beaters to be constantly attacking. And I just don't think that is enough, no matter how much easier they make it for you to Pendulum summon with DDD monsters. And what, dude, you get an extra Pendulum scale? It's like, come on. Give me something better than that for DDD. I like what they're trying to do, which is make these these Pendulum decks a little more viable, because they know that they screwed them at the beginning of Arc 5 World with no good skills. But this simply is not good enough. A lot of these skills for these anime decks, they need to be brought up to par with the strength of the other Pendulum anime decks. Abyss Actors are pretty much the sole performing Pendulum deck right now, and they are, and any other Pendulum deck that had come out is getting trounced by a lot of the newer cards that they've implemented that are just simply more effective, such as Phantom Knights, Burning Abyss, now Teller Knights as well. It seems like Pendulums did not even get their chance, and they were just swept under the rug for the next generation of Xyz monsters. So I really hope that they can get it together and hopefully, you know, release some more powerful DDD cards next that will really be able to take advantage of these skill changes. But until then, guys, let me know what you think about these skill nerfs, changes, buffs, their buffs, if you can even call them that. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.